Okay, so we are back with Lisa Waters Lane in the studio. She comes each week with your garden questions and lots of questions going on. All those newbies here that are coming in, they've never seen frost before. So now they're coming and going, what happened to my plants? Why are they discolored? What happened? They were supposed to be beautiful. I thought they were tropical. No, we're a four-season climate. So I'm sure we got lots of good questions this week. Welcome, Lisa.
Thank you. Good to be here.
What have you seen? We just turned that for the vlog people so they can see your name badge.
I don't know, you can even see it.
Oh, there we go. You're looking fabulous, my dear. Fabulous.
Thank you. Yes.
You've been unloading pottery all week.
We have been.
So the 2023, believe it or not,
it's hard to think of that.
pottery just landed. So we're stocking, get it going, kind of have it all going. So these are fancy glazed pots. It looks like this whole bottleneck of the ports coming in, things coming, supply chain is starting to ease up.
Yes, it is.
So we're starting to get more supplies more often, that kind of stuff, which is where we want to be.
So yeah, we definitely got new pottery in. So it's a good time to peruse that.
Yeah.
Especially if there's certain colors you're looking for, certain sizes you're looking for, you want to match things up.
Yeah.
The sooner you come in and shop, the better selection, the more you're going to have that ability to do that. Yeah. Because this is not one we restock every weekend. I mean, it's
two or three times a year. That's it.
Right.
So you should explain to folks to pottery. So pottery, folks that have, let's say, from the deserts, they're used to that Mexican clay, that red clay with a charcoal. What's the difference in quality? Are there different qualities of clay, and how do you tell?
Of course, there's different qualities.
Of course, yeah.
But yes, so the wonderful clay, the Talavera, all those pottery, beautiful, and they work wonderful in the desert areas. But as we're experiencing, we get frost, we get snow, we get moisture, we get rain. And if you don't have a good quality pot that's been high fired, moisture gets in there. And then we get the freeze and thaw and the expanding and the cracking. And that's where you get the cracking, the crazing on your pots. So yes, you definitely want to invest a little bit more money to get a higher quality pot. That's going to hold up. I mean, we've had some pots, like 20 years?
Yeah, too long. We're starting to get tired. I'm getting tired of them. I want some new colors.
I know. But it's worth the investment to have that pottery hold up. You don't have to worry about dumping it, taking it into the garage for the winter or protecting it. You can leave it out year round, planting it year round. And be fine.
So the right container. So your Italian clay, that red, the pots that your grandparents grew in. Those do not winter over here. They crack because of that freeze thaw cycle. Your Talavera, the fancy Spanish kinds of German pots, they break in the winter here at this altitude. They freeze and thaw. That's more for Phoenix. Your high-fired Malaysian, Chinese, Vietnamese, Indian pots, or they're good quality clay. Then they send them to the kiln. They're thicker, higher quality clay, and they go through them. And they don't crack. Right. So they're going to be a little bit more, but you get years of worry-free gardening out of them.
Definitely. So come check your selection now because it's the best time to look.
You know what I love about pottery?
What?
They're beautiful. Well, no, that breaks backbreaking. But we specialize in resort size or large home size containers. So they're bigger than normal. They're heavier than normal, but they're bigger and they last. But they're beautiful. Even, let's say, this last cold just took out all of your geraniums. They're beautiful with or without plants. They're so pretty. It's sort of the colors, the textures, they're gorgeous. They're pieces of art that you garden in.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
Questions?
Check them out. Questions. Speaking of freezing and thawing, Dan would like to know, does he need to mulch around his peonies, roses, and other perennials for the winter?
Yeah.
And when would he get that mulch on?
Yeah. So your timing's right. So yes, now. Maybe the ground isn't going to freeze for another month. I mean, yes, we get frost. You saw a little bit of snowflakes.
Yeah.
You see some weather, but the ground is not going to freeze like ice. You're not going to get a permafrost kind of thing. So that happens in December, January. So you got some time. Take some time, do it. The book says a 2 to 3 inch layer on top of your flower beds. And what that does for you, folks that are new to this freezing area, this freeze-thaw cycle. See, if we're in the Midwest, it freezes and stays frozen.
Yeah.
You're good. You don't have to do anything hardly. Here, because of the freeze and the thaw, the ground will freeze at night, thaw during the day. All those roots in that top layer of the soil, that top 4 inches or so, it breaks all those root hairs that were forming in there.
Yeah.
So you're damaging the plant because of that freeze thaw. It's an altitude thing. It's not a 4-season thing. It's a 4-season with this altitude and the freeze and the thaw. So you want to insulate 2 to 3 inches. Take a mulch. Manure could be used this time of year, probably. Mulch and cedar bark and some of those are better. But 2 to 3 inch over those delicate plants. I would say roses would benefit from that. Lilacs, things that bloom in the spring, just nice, pretty oval, kind of round shape around it. And it just insulates that plant. The worms will be attracted to it. It'll add more. It just does a lot for you over the long run. So Dan, yeah, get on it, man. Let's go.
Pick a nice day and get out there. All right. Paula in Prescott Valley has a question about watering. So she has several things that are new in her yard, trees and shrubs.
Right.
Wants to know how you water those now and through the winter.
Sure.
And will that same watering schedule hold true for trees and shrubs that are established, been in the ground for a few years?
So I just changed, had a doctor's appointment earlier today. Of course, they kept you waiting. I'm there for an hour on my phone. I went, okay, you know what? I'm here. What can I do? I changed my irrigation while I was sitting there in the doctor's office waiting to get in. So we've got one of these fancy Wi-Fi remote, whatever, very sophisticated.
Yes.
And complicated. So I changed that out. And what I did is I moved all the cycles, there's like 9 valves, up 6 hours. So what I wanted to move everything to the middle of the day watering, because it's usually not freezing here. I mean, here at this elevation, even in January, it's 40, 50 degrees. Yeah. At night, it's 19 degrees, but during the day, it's nice. I'll water during the day. I was watering like containers every 1 to 2 days. I backed it off every 4 days. The landscape, trees and shrubs, we were watering every 5 to 7 days. I moved it to every 7 to 10 days. So I just, a couple times a month, 2 or 3 times a month, watering your roses, your trees, your shrubs, your vines, plenty. And in the middle of the day, you're not going to damage your system. You're not going to have ice forming out of those drip heads. Containers, I went to basically a couple times a week, something like that, in the middle of the day. So that's what we did. And that works really, really well for us. We do water through the winter here, especially for Paula, new things. If you had a new thing in the ground, those roots have not grown out far enough yet to really make it really robust. So I know we've had some moisture this week, but that might be it for 2 months. You never know here in the mountains. So if you have a really heavy wet storm or something, maybe you cut one of those out, go once a month. But really, if a plant goes into cold when it's really dry, you'll get what we call winter kill or winter damage or winter burn. Several names, but the tips of those plants, the branches will die back. The heart of the plant will stay alive, but the easy way to get around that is just keep it moist. If you see a real cold cycle coming, like this week, water before the cold gets here. A hydrated plant goes to the cold far better than a dry plant. It's kind of counterintuitive because you wouldn't put your little puppy dog out there and hose them down with water, but you do with your plants. So if you're one of those strong plant parents and you're trying to nurture and care for your plants like a puppy dog, stop doing that. Treat them like a plant, water them, hydrate them, and they can take care of themselves. Even those plants that hibernate underground, they're going to benefit from staying moist through that winter. They'll come out better next spring by just sporadic watering in the middle of the day. Out of time. Great questions, Paula. Thank you. Ken and Lisa Lain, the Mountain Gardeners. We'll be right back right after this.